The doorbell rang like a gunshot in the quiet afternoon, shattering the fragile peace of the old Victorian house on Elm Street in suburban Ohio. Dr. Alex Harlan, fresh from his residency in Chicago, stood on the porch with his suitcase, his heart pounding as he faced the home he'd left behind years ago. Now, he was back not just as a son, but as the new town doctor, hiding a secret that could destroy everything. But when his childhood best friend, Mark Thompson, opened the door with that familiar grin, Alex felt the old pull, the one he'd buried deep, and in that moment, he knew coming home was either the best decision or the worst mistake of his life. Alex stepped inside, the scent of his mother's apple pie wafting from the kitchen, a stark reminder of the life he'd fled. "Mom, Dad, I'm home," he called out, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. His father, Robert Harlan, a stern retired factory worker with deep-set lines from years of conservative values etched into his face, emerged from the living room, his eyes narrowing slightly at Alex's city slicker attire. A crisp button-down and slacks that screamed outsider in this blue-collar town. "About time you showed up, son," Robert grumbled, clapping Alex on the back with a force that was more command than affection. "The clinic's been without a proper doctor since old Doc Simmons retired. Folks here expect you to step up, not bring any of that big city nonsense." Alex nodded, swallowing the retort that bubbled up. He knew what nonsense meant. Anything that challenged the rigid norms of Willow Creek, where church on Sundays and family barbecues were the pillars of existence. His mother, Ellen, hurried in, wiping her hands on her apron, her face lighting up with genuine warmth. "Oh, Alex, it's so good to have you back. Mark's been helping around here while you were gone. He's such a good boy." She pulled him into a hug, and Alex caught Mark's eye over her shoulder. Mark, with his tousled brown hair and easy smile, had always been the golden child of the neighborhood, star quarterback in high school, now a mechanic at the local garage. But to Alex, he was more. The confidant of late-night talks, the partner in teenage adventures, and the unspoken crush that had driven Alex away to medical school in the first place. As they settled into the living room, the conversation flowed awkwardly at first. Robert dominated, ranting about the liberal agenda, infiltrating even small towns like theirs. "Did you hear about that parade in Cleveland? Disgraceful. We don't need that here." Alex bit his tongue, feeling the weight of his secret like a stone in his chest. He was gay, had known it since he was 15, but in Willow Creek, coming out wasn't an option. It was social suicide, especially for the son of the town's most outspoken traditionalist. Mark steered the talk to safer waters. "Hey, Alex, remember that time we snuck out to the lake and built that bonfire? Nearly got caught by Sheriff Daniels." They laughed, the tension easing, but Alex noticed how Mark's gaze lingered a second too long, how his hand brushed Alex's when passing a beer. Was it imagination, or was there something there? Something mutual? That night, as Alex unpacked in his old room, posters of rock bands still faded on the walls, Mark knocked on the door. "Couldn't sleep. Thought we'd catch up properly." They sat on the bed, talking for hours, about Alex's grueling residency, Mark's failed engagement to Sarah from high school, the way life in Willow Creek felt like a cage. "I envy you, man," Mark said softly. "You got out, saw the world." Alex hesitated, then asked, "Why didn't you leave?" Mark shrugged. "Family, expectations, you know how it is." But as the clock ticked past midnight, the conversation turned personal. Mark confessed his engagement had ended because he couldn't commit, couldn't feel what he was supposed to. It just didn't feel right. Alex's pulse raced. He wanted to say it, to admit his own truth, but fear clamped down. Instead, he changed the subject, but the seed was planted. Coming home meant facing not just his family, but the feelings he'd run from. The next day, Alex started at the clinic, a small brick building on Main Street. Patients streamed in, farmers with backaches, kids with colds, elderly folks with chronic issues. It was fulfilling, grounding, but whispers followed him. "Heard he's single. Bet he's got some city girl waiting." Alex smiled through it, but inside, the isolation gnawed. Lunchtime brought Mark, bearing sandwiches from the diner. Thought you'd need a break. They ate in the park, the autumn leaves crunching underfoot, and for a moment, it felt like old times. Yet, tension simmered. Robert called that evening, demanding Alex join the family for church committee meetings. "It's your duty, son. Show the town you're one of us." Alex agreed reluctantly, but at the meeting, the discussion turned to a proposed LGBTQ support group at the community center. "We can't have that influencing our kids," Robert thundered. Alex stayed silent, his fists clenched under the table. Mark, sitting nearby, shot him a sympathetic look, but said nothing. As weeks passed, Alex and Mark's friendship deepened. Late-night drives, shared beers on the porch, confessions under starlit skies. One evening, by the lake where they'd once built that bonfire, Mark opened up. "Alex, I think I'm not who everyone thinks I am." Alex's heart stopped. "What do you mean?" Mark looked away, then back, his eyes vulnerable. "I mean, Sarah wasn't the problem. It was me. I have feelings for guys. For you, maybe." The confession hung in the air like smoke. Alex froze, then reached out, his hand trembling as it touched Mark's. "Me too," he whispered. Their lips met in a tentative kiss, the world narrowing to just them. But joy was fleeting. Headlights pierced the darkness. Robert's truck, pulling up for a late-night fish. Panic surged. They pulled apart, but had he seen? The drive home was silent, dread building. At breakfast the next morning, Robert's face was thunderous. "Saw you two by the lake last night." "What the hell was that?" Alex stammered, but Mark jumped in. "Just talking, Mr. Harlan. Old friends catching up." Robert eyed them suspiciously but let it drop, for now. Alex knew it was only the beginning. The secret was cracking, and the fallout would be explosive. The suspicion lingered like a shadow over the Harlan household. Robert's questions became pointed, his gaze sharper during family dinners. "You two spending a lot of time together," he'd say, fork stabbing at his steak. Alex deflected, claiming work demands, but inside, guilt twisted like a knife. He and Mark stole moments, a brush of hands in the garage, a whispered promise in the clinic's back room. But the risk escalated with each encounter. Ellen noticed, too, her maternal intuition flaring. "Alex, honey, is everything okay? You seem distracted." She cornered him in the kitchen one afternoon, her eyes searching his. Alex wanted to confess, to unburden himself, but the fear of her disappointment held him back. She was the glue of the family, devout and kind, but bound by the same traditions that chained Robert. "Just adjusting to being back, Mom," he lied, hating himself for it. At the clinic, patients' stories mirrored his own struggles. Mrs. Jenkins, a widow in her 60s, confided about her estranged son who had come out years ago. "I wish I'd handled it better," she said tearfully. "Lost him because of my pride." Alex prescribed her medication, but her words haunted him. Was he destined for the same regret? That evening, he met Mark at an abandoned barn on the town's outskirts, a place they'd discovered as kids. "We can't keep sneaking around," Alex said, pacing. "It's eating me up." Mark pulled him close. "I know, but what choice do we have? Your dad, my folks, they'd disown us." Mark's family was even more entrenched. His father, a pastor at the local church, preached fire and brimstone on Sundays. Coming out would mean exile from the only world they knew. Yet, in that barn under the creaking rafters, they shared dreams of a life together. Maybe leaving Willow Creek, starting fresh in a city where they could be open. But dreams clashed with reality. The next day, Robert confronted Alex in the study. "I found this in your room." He held up a photo from Alex's college days, a group shot including an ex-boyfriend, arms around each other. Alex's stomach dropped. "That's just a friend, Dad." Robert's face reddened. "Don't lie to me, boy. I know what I see. If you're one of them, you pack your bags and get out. This family won't tolerate it." The ultimatum hit like a punch. Alex stormed out, driving aimlessly until he reached Mark's apartment above the garage. "He knows," Alex blurted. Mark paled. What do we do? They debated for hours, deny, confess, run. In the end, they chose caution, agreeing to cool things off. But separation only amplified the ache. Alex threw himself into work, volunteering extra hours, but loneliness crept in. Weeks turned into a fragile truce. Robert watched Alex like a hawk, but said no more. Ellen tried bridging the gap with family outings, oblivious to the undercurrents. Then, disaster struck. At a town hall meeting about the community center's programs, including that LGBTQ group, Robert rallied opposition. We must protect our values, he shouted. Alex, attending as the town doctor, felt compelled to speak. As a physician, I see the harm isolation causes. Mental health suffers when people can't be themselves. The room erupted. Robert glared daggers at his son. After, in the parking lot, he cornered Alex. You undermining me? In front of everyone. Alex stood his ground. It's about helping people, Dad. Not politics. Robert spat. It's about sin. If you're defending them, maybe you're one. Alex's silence was damning. Robert stormed off, leaving Alex shaken. Mark heard about it from gossip. He showed up at the clinic that night, furious. You could have stayed quiet. Now everyone's talking. Alex snapped back. I can't hide forever. Neither can you. Their argument escalated, voices rising. You're risking everything, Mark yelled. For what? Some ideal. Alex retorted. For us. For a chance to be real. Mark left in anger, slamming the door. The rift grew. Days without contact turned into a week. Alex regretted his words, but pride held him back. Then, a patient emergency pulled him from his misery. A young teen, Jamie, admitted for a suicide attempt. In the hospital, Jamie confessed, I'm gay, document. My parents don't know. I can't take the hiding. Alex's heart broke. He counseled the boy, urging honesty with support, but hypocrisy burned. How could he advise what he wouldn't do? Inspired, Alex called Mark. We need to talk. They met at the lake again, the water lapping softly. I'm sorry, Alex said, but we can't live like this. Mark nodded, tears in his eyes. I know. My dad's sermon last Sunday, it was all about abominations. I felt targeted. They reconciled, deciding to come out together, starting with their families. The plan was set. Dinner at the Harlans, then Mark's parents. The night arrived, tension thick as fog. Ellen's roast beef sat uneaten as Alex cleared his throat. Mom, Dad, there's something I need to say. I'm gay. Silence exploded into chaos. Robert roared. What? No, son of mine. Ellen gasped, hand to her mouth. Mark, beside Alex, added. And we're together. Robert's face contorted in rage. You? Both of you? Get out. Both of you. They fled into the night, hearts pounding. At Mark's house, the reaction was worse. His father quoted scripture, calling them sinners, his mother weeping hysterically. Disowned, they drove to a motel on the highway, collapsing in exhaustion. What have we done? Mark whispered. Alex held him. The right thing. Finally. But the price was steep. The next morning, news spread like wildfire. Patients canceled appointments, whispers turned to stares. Robert cut off contact. Ellen's calls tearful pleas to pray it away. Mark lost jobs at the garage, friends ghosting him. In the wreckage, their bond strengthened, but doubt crept in. Was freedom worth the ruin? Isolation settled over Alex and Mark like a heavy blanket. They rented a small apartment on the edge of town, pooling savings to survive. Alex's clinic suffered. Appointments dwindled as rumors flew. Can't trust a doctor like that, folks said. He pushed on, treating those who came, but the financial strain mounted. Mark picked up odd jobs, landscaping, deliveries, but his father's influence blackballed him from steady work. Family fractures deepened. Ellen visited secretly, bringing groceries, her eyes red from crying. Your father is heartbroken, Alex. He doesn't mean it. But Robert's silence was absolute, a wall of disapproval. Mark's parents were harsher. His father publicly denounced moral decay in sermons, subtly referencing the prodigal sons who'd strayed. Mark attended one service incognito, hearing the veiled attacks, and left in tears. Social backlash hit hard. Old friends avoided them at the grocery store, kids taunted from afar. One night, eggs splattered their car, slurs scrawled in soap. Alex reported it to Sheriff Daniels, a childhood acquaintance, but got a shrug. Small town boys, folks get riled up. The incident shook them but fueled resolve. "We can't let them win," Alex said, cleaning the mess. Amid the storm, glimmers of support emerged. Mrs. Jenkins, the widow from the clinic, stopped by with a casserole. "My son and I reconciled last year. Don't give up." Jamie, the teen who'd attempted suicide, reached out too, thanking Alex for saving him. "You gave me hope," document. These moments sustained them, reminders that change was possible. But internal conflicts raged. Mark struggled with guilt, second-guessing their decision. Maybe we should have waited, built a plan. Late nights, he'd stare at the ceiling, whispering, "I miss my family." Alex felt it too, the ache of lost connections. His medical oath clashed with personal pain. He treated Robert's old factory buddies, hearing their judgments, yet remained professional. A turning point came at the community center debate. The LGBTQ support group proposal resurfaced, petitions circulating. Robert led the opposition, gathering signatures at church. Alex and Mark joined the proponents, speaking at a rally. "This town needs inclusivity," Alex declared to a divided crowd. Boos mixed with applause. Mark added, "Hiding who you are destroys lives. We've paid the price, don't make others pay it." The event drew media attention. A local news crew from Cleveland covered it, interviewing Alex. "Coming out cost me my family, but silence costs more." The segment aired, amplifying their story. Calls poured in, support from afar, hate from close. Robert watched it at home. Ellen said later, his face ashen. He didn't say a word. Betrayal struck unexpectedly. Sarah, Mark's ex-fiancée, fueled by resentment, spread lies. "They were cheating behind my back." Gossip escalated, painting them as deceivers. Mark confronted her at the diner. "Why, Sarah? We were friends." She sneered. "You humiliated me. Everyone knew but me." The exchange turned ugly, drawing onlookers. Mark walked away, head high but wounded. The strain tested their relationship. Arguments flared over finances, futures. "Maybe we should leave," Alex suggested one night. Mark resisted. "Running? That's what they want." But doubt festered. Alex confided in a therapist via telehealth, unpacking layers of trauma, the internalized shame from years of hiding, the moral dilemma of choosing love over family. Then a crisis. Robert suffered a heart attack. Ellen called Alex in panic. "Please come, he's at the hospital." Alex rushed over, donning his doctor hat despite the rift. In the ER, he consulted with colleagues, ensuring top care. Robert, groggy from meds, muttered, "Didn't expect you." Alex replied softly, "You're still my dad." The moment cracked Robert's armor, but pride held firm. Recovery brought uneasy visits.
Ellen mediated, urging reconciliation.
"Family is family," she pleaded. Mark joined one, tense but civil. Robert grumbled, "Don't approve of your lifestyle." But he didn't eject them. Progress? Or pity? Mark saw hope. Alex caution. As the support group vote neared, tensions peaked. Vandalism hit the center, windows smashed, graffiti spewing hate. Suspicion fell on extremists, but no arrests. Alex and Mark volunteered cleanup, bonding with allies. A teacher, a librarian, even Jamie's parents, who'd come around after his scare. The vote day arrived, town hall packed. Speeches flew, Robert's impassioned plea for traditional values, Alex's counter for empathy. Ballots cast, results tallied. The group passed by a slim margin. Cheers and jeers erupted. Robert stormed out, defeated. That night he called Alex. "You win this round, but don't think this changes us." Victory was bittersweet. The group launched, Alex facilitating sessions. Attendees shared stories, finding solace. Mark helped too, his mechanic skills fixing the center's van. But personal costs lingered, strained finances, lingering stares. In quiet moments, Alex wondered if the fight was worth it. One evening, over dinner, Mark proposed. "Marry me. Let's make it official." Alex, stunned, said yes. They planned a small ceremony in Cleveland, inviting families tentatively. Ellen RSVP'd yes. Robert, no. Mark's parents ignored it. The wedding was intimate, joyous amid sorrow, vows exchanged. Rings slipped on, a kiss sealing their commitment. But shadows loomed. Post-honeymoon, a job offer came for Alex in Chicago. A better clinic, accepting environment. "We could start over," he said. Mark hesitated. "Leave everything? Our fight here." The decision tore at them, embodying the eternal conflict. Safety versus change. The job offer hung over them like a tempting escape. Chicago promised anonymity, community, stability, everything Willow Creek lacked. Alex pushed for it, visions of walks in Boys Town, unjudged hand-holding. "We've sacrificed enough," he argued. Mark wavered, tied to roots. "If we go, who fights for the next Jamie?" Their debates grew heated, exposing cracks.
Ellen visited, sensing turmoil.
"Don't rush, boys. Things are thawing." Indeed, Robert had softened slightly, grunting hellos at chance meetings, even asking about the clinic indirectly through Ellen. But full acceptance? Distant. Mark's family remained estranged. His father's sermons still laced with judgment. Professional pressures mounted. Alex's patient load stabilized, but insurance battles and low reimbursements strained him. A malpractice scare arose, a misdiagnosis allegation from a disgruntled patient with ties to Robert's circle. Though cleared, it drained energy. Mark landed a job at a progressive auto shop in a neighboring town, commuting daily, but exhaustion built. Social dynamics shifted. The support group thrived, drawing more members. Alex led discussions on coming out, family rejection, drawing from experience. One session, a surprise attendee. Sarah, apologetic. "I was hurt," lashed out.
I'm sorry.
Reconciliation.
Tentative.
Mark forgave, but trust was scarred. Betrayal came from within the group. A member, closeted councilman, outed himself accidentally, blaming Alex's radical influence. Scandal erupted, media swarming. Robert seized it, penning a letter to the local paper. "This progress destroys lives." Alex responded publicly, defending the group's mission. The feud went viral locally, dividing Willow Creek further. Personal toll escalated. Mark's depression deepened, old doubts resurfacing. Did we choose wrong? This pain. Alex supported him, but his own resolve faltered. A late-night call from an old college friend offered perspective. "You can't change everyone. Save yourselves." The words echoed. Then a breakthrough or breakdown. Robert showed up at the apartment unannounced. "Need to talk." Tense they sat. Saw that letter. Not proud of it now. He admitted watching the wedding video Ellen secretly filmed. "You looked happy. Never saw that in you before." Tears welled. "I raised you strict, thinking it was right. But losing you hurts more." It wasn't full apology, but a crack in the wall. Alex hugged him, tentative. Mark watched, hopeful. Reconnection rippled. Family dinners resumed, awkward but present. Robert avoided gay topics, but listened when Alex shared clinic stories. Ellen beamed, bridge rebuilt. Mark's parents? Slower. A Christmas card arrived, neutral but a start. Yet, mended bonds brought new conflicts. Robert pressured subtly. "Settle down proper. Maybe adopt quietly." Alex resisted. "We are proper." Moral dilemmas arose, balancing authenticity with compromise. At a family gathering, a cousin's homophobic joke tested limits. Mark called it out. Robert backed him, surprising all. The Chicago offer deadline loomed. They weighed pros, better pay, safety. Cons, abandoning progress. A town event decided it, a pride festival, small but first. Alex and Mark organized, facing threats but persisting. Turnout exceeded expectations, allies outnumbering detractors. Robert attended briefly, nodding approval from afar. Post-event, they chose to stay. "This is our home," Mark said. "We've earned it." Alex agreed, declining the offer. Commitment renewed, they focused on building, volunteering, advocating. But peace was fragile. A health scare for Ellen united them. Robert relied on Alex's expertise, gratitude softening edges. Mark's father reached out, coffee meetings strained but open. Scripture says, "Love thy neighbor." Maybe I forgot that. As months passed, normalcy emerged. Clinic thrived with group referrals. Mark started a mentorship for LGBTQ youth. Bonds strengthened, but scars remained. Lost friends, lingering prejudices. One day, a new patient, a father-son duo, the dad supportive of his gay teen. "Heard your story. Document gave us courage." Alex smiled, seeing ripple effects. Yet, in quiet, he pondered choices. Was staying brave or foolish? The moral ambiguity lingered. Their anniversary approached, plans for a quiet celebration. But drama resurfaced. Robert's old friend, a bigot, confronted him at church. "Your son's an abomination." Robert defended. "My son's a good man. Mind your tongue." Word spread, Robert's stance shifting public opinion. Empowered, Alex and Mark pushed for more. School inclusivity programs. Opposition arose, petitions countering. A debate ensued, Alex facing Robert's former allies. Victory came, policies passed. But the cost? Exhaustion. Mark confided. "Sometimes I wonder if we'd be happier elsewhere." Alex nodded. "Me too. But look what we've built." The tension between personal happiness and societal change defined them. In a pivotal moment, Jamie, now thriving, thanked them. "You saved me. Now I'm out, family's okay." Inspiration renewed their fight. Yet, as the year closed, a final twist. Mark's mother called, inviting them for dinner. Time to heal. They went, hearts guarded. Conversation flowed. Apologies whispered. Not perfect, but progress. Healing was uneven, like a road patched over cracks. The dinner with Mark's parents marked a tentative truce. His father stiff, quoting amended scripture on forgiveness. His mother warmer, hugging tightly. "We've missed you," she said. Mark held back tears, the weight of years lifting slightly. Alex observed, hopeful yet wary. True change took time. Back home, they reflected. "Feels surreal," Mark said. "Like we're rebuilding from ruins." Alex agreed, but internal battles persisted. Nightmares plagued him, rejection replayed, choices questioned. Therapy helped, unpacking layers. The ethical tightrope of defying norms versus self-preservation. Community evolved. The support group expanded, partnering with regional orgs. Alex spoke at conferences, sharing their journey. "Change starts with one voice," he'd say. Accolades came, a local award for advocacy, but so did backlash. Online trolls targeted them, anonymous threats arriving via mail. Sheriff Daniels stepped up, investigating a shift from earlier apathy. Family integration deepened. Robert joined a PFLAG meeting incognito, Ellen dragging him. "Eye-opening," he admitted later. Interactions normalized. Barbecues where partners were mentioned casually, grandparent dreams discussed hypothetically. Mark's family followed suit. Slower, holidays shared, topics skirted but present. Professional triumphs balanced personal strains. Alex's clinic gained grants for mental health services. Mark's mentorship program funded. They adopted a dog, symbolizing stability. A scruffy mutt named Hope. Daily life settled. Mornings jogging, evenings cooking. Love expressed freely at home. But moral quandaries arose. A patient, closeted like they once were, sought advice. Should I come out? Risk everything? Alex counseled carefully, weighing pros and cons, mirroring his own past. It's your choice, but truth frees. The man did, facing fallout but finding peace. Alex envied his resolve. reflecting on their own path's costs. A major conflict brewed. A state bill threatening LGBTQ rights. Willow Creek mobilized. Alex and Mark leading protests. Robert surprisingly signed petitions. Not for you, but rights right. The bill failed, victory sweet. But exhaustion hit, burnout loomed. In a quiet moment, Alex proposed expanding their family. Surrogacy? Adoption? Mark enthused, but realities dawned. Legal hurdles? Societal judgments. They researched, facing biases even in progressive circles. Robert's reaction? Mixed. Kids need stability. Debate ensued, highlighting generational divides. As seasons changed, growth evident. Jamie graduated high school out and proud, crediting them. Your heroes. Alex demurred. Just survivors. Then, a betrayal shook foundations. A friend from the group leaked private stories to tabloids, twisting narratives for sensationalism. Headlines screamed, small-town gay drama, betrayals and broken families. Privacy invaded, they sued, but damage done. Trust fractured. Group attendance dipped. Rebuilding tested resilience. Alex confronted the leaker, a young man driven by jealousy. Wanted attention, forgiveness, hard-earned. Mark struggled most, retreating inward. Why fight if it's endless? Alex pulled him back. Because it matters. Family rallied. Robert publicly defended them in the paper. My son's story is his. Respect it. Mark's father preached on compassion. A subtle nod. Amid chaos, they renewed vows privately, reaffirming commitment. Through worse, we've endured. Love deepened, forged in fire. Years blurred, but the story's essence remained. Choices, consequences. Alex, older, wiser, mentored newcomers. Mark, reflective, wrote a memoir anonymously, sparking discussions. In the end, Willow Creek transformed, not utopia, but tolerant. Families mended, not seamless, but whole. Yet questions lingered. The price of authenticity, the ethics of upheaval. Was disrupting the status quo, enduring betrayal and loss, ultimately the right path, or could quiet conformity have spared the pain while still allowing personal fulfillment?